B.C. Pop's concert at the Forum tomorrow night. Pop's conductor David Agar told First News about the featured selections.
And the theme is fundamentally Valentine's Day. We're also doing Romeo and Juliet of Tchaikovsky. We're doing Hansel and Gretel, Sometimes When We Touch, Michel Legrand medley. And we've got a guest soloist, baritone Ron Rogers, who's going to do My Funny Valentine and a real nice medley of love songs and some delightful things. He's just great. That's fundamentally the program, that plus the Gershwin.
What time does the concert start?
It's 8 o'clock Saturday night and 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
One of the composers featured will be George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue on a player piano. We've heard of being there in spirit, but Agar seems to have accomplished quite a feat.
About a year after the work was premiered with Paul Whiteman, he cut a roll, and it's actually a one-piano version that they did a rather interesting thing with. He played it through once and then ran the roll back and then added some extra notes, which is kind of an old-fashioned version of tape overdubbing, actually. But that's the way the roll was cut, and then what we have done is we went through the whole roll and put little X's on all of the notes that we didn't want it to play, which are all the orchestra parts. I don't know. I really don't. I never counted them. They're probably 1,000, 2,000. I haven't any idea. I've not counted the notes in the piece either, so I'm not sure. But there were a lot of holes to cover, and that takes out all of the parts that the orchestra would normally play. And so that is the solo version, fundamentally, played by George Gershwin of Rhapsody in Blue, and that's what the piano is going to play. Our next number, which is George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, is a landmark in the history of American music. In 1925, Gershwin recorded the Rhapsody on a pair of Duo-Art piano rolls. We have edited these rolls to remove the orchestral accompaniment parts by Scotch taping over the appropriate holes in the roll, so that what is left is Gershwin himself playing in the Rhapsody in Blue with the B.C. Pops. I would also like to say that the Pops is deeply indebted to Bill Decker for providing us with this beautiful Steinway reproducing piano for these performances. I would further like to say that last night we had a 3.5-hour rehearsal on this one piece. It is by way of an experiment, my friends. It has been recorded. It was recorded by Tilson Thomas and a jazz group several years ago using the original Paul Whiteman arrangement, which is for a fairly small jazz band. I am now convinced that that tape has more Scotch tape than audio tape in it. You see, the problem is that he doesn't follow us. We have to follow him. So we're going to take a stab at it, and if we start together and finish together, we'll be doing very well. I might mention that all of the funny marks that you're going to see on the roll going by are what I'm conducting from, fundamentally. So that's not what a roll usually looks like. You know, we've... that's a little too loud. I think it blew a fuse in the amp, too. Yeah. Can you hear? Good. You know, we've done a lot of crazy things with the Pops in the last 5 years. This, I think, may have been the craziest. I don't know if some of you down in the front row might have noticed that the roll stopped a couple of times. Of course, it isn't supposed to do that. But what we did, you see, was we took the 2 rolls that he made and taped them together, spliced them, which makes, unfortunately, a roll that's a little too big. And the piano has a little trouble handling it toward the end. But we did start together and we did finish together, right, guys? We're going to wait for this to run out. Would you like to hear it play one more number? We've got an Irving Berlin medley. We've got an Irving Berlin medley that Mr. Decker has kindly brought with him. This is Bill Decker, by the way, whose piano this is.